back to Creations by Meraki. I am Jazz and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do 2 Dutch braids with extensions. So we're going to start off with parting the hair into 2 even sections and then grabbing a piece of your extensions and splitting that into 2 sections. You then want to cross those sections over the top of each other so you have 3 strands. And now you're just going to grab a section from the front of the head. Try and get it as small as you can, just so we can get it as close to the front of the head as possible. And then put the middle section of those 3 strands of extension onto that section. Grab a little piece of hair and add it into the left side, and then grab a little piece of hair and add it into the right side and cross it underneath the middle. So we're just basically doing the same thing as a Dutch braid, but we're adding in the extension. So you're just grabbing a little bit of hair and putting that into the right hand side and putting that underneath the middle, and then grabbing a little piece of hair, adding that into the left hand side and then putting that underneath the middle. And just make sure you do a few little braids first before you start adding in any other braids, because you want to give it that small to large look. So it's grabbing a piece of hair, adding it into the left side, and I'm just going to get Macy, my great model, to hold onto the next piece of extension. So once you're onto the left hand side again, you just want to pop it over the top and add it into the left hand section, add a little bit of hair and cross it underneath the middle. And so you're just grabbing your right hand side, adding a little piece of hair and then crossing that underneath the middle. And then on the left hand side, adding the other bit of extension and crossing that underneath the middle. And we're just continuing this process all the way down. So after a few braids of this section, then we'll probably add in another section of extension, which might be a little bit bigger. You want to add the biggest bit of your extension into the back of the head. About when it gets to the top of the head, yeah. So we're just grabbing the other section of extension, and we'll just do 2 more braids and putting that underneath the middle, and then we're going to grab that piece of extension, pop it over the top, put one section over one side of the hair and the other over the other side. Add the first section in with a little piece of hair, pop it underneath the middle section of the braid, and then adding in the right hand section and popping that underneath the braid, and then we're going to add in that second part of that extension. If I can give you any tips, it is to make sure that your hands are tight. If you don't know how to Dutch braids without extensions, then please see the link above and go and learn how to Dutch braid first, because otherwise this is going to be really difficult for you. And this process is all about practice. The more practice you get doing this, the better you will get, the closer you'll get it to the front of the scalp, and the neater the braid will be as well, and the tighter it will be. Okay, so we're getting down to the bottom, making sure we're pulling tight at the bottom of the scalp so that it's not all loose. And I've currently added 3 sections of extensions into this. But because I'm going to want to make this a little bit longer, I'm going to grab another piece of extension, and you'll see exactly how I add it in. So you just add in one side into the right hand side, and then the other half into the right hand side after you've done that full braid. And then you're just going to braid this all the way down like a normal Dutch plait. Okay, so once you get to the bottom, I usually like to fuse the ends with the hair straightener. I haven't done it in this video, but basically you just heat your hair straightener up to above 200 degrees and then just pop it over the ends and it will melt the ends. Otherwise, chuck a band in the bottom, that will do the same, but it just stops, with using the hair straightener, it just stops the bands from snapping and your hair from falling out. So again, we're just going to try the second side. So just grabbing a little piece of hair from the front, adding in that 3-strand section of extension that we spoke about in the first side, and then just popping that underneath like a normal braid. And then each section where we're adding in the hair, we're adding that into the extension piece. So basically we have the 3-strand of extensions, and then we are going to add in a piece of hair underneath the top bit, and then put that underneath the middle, and then add a piece of hair in from the left hand side and put that underneath the middle and pulling tight. And then we're just going to continue this all the way down, exactly the same as the first side, and adding in the extensions about every third of the way. So you want to add in 3 lots of extensions in the top head, and then if you want to make it extra long, then add in a 4th section of extensions down the bottom when we start doing the Dutch plait. And when you're adding in those extensions into each section while you're still braiding, you grab the extension, pop it over the top of the head, grab one side and put that underneath the middle, and then grab the left hand side and put a normal piece of hair into that braid and put that underneath the middle, and then grab the other side of the extension and a piece of hair on the right hand side and pop that underneath the middle. And we're just continuing this all the way down until we get to the bottom.
For sure.
Okay, so once you get to the bottom again, you can either fuse it with the hair straightener or add a band. And this is the finished look, everyone. This is what it looks like with the extensions in. It adds a little bit of color and a little bit of pop. If you want to see more videos, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, stay groovy and keep expressing yourselves.